It's time for justice. We need to prove that there's justice available. For us, there's no justice. We're never going to get our daughter back. I'm never going to meet my firstborn grandson.
That is a snowflake mother who's asking for her daughter's killer to face the maximum punishment after he pled guilty to hitting her and her unborn child while driving drunk last year.
23-year-old Talora Frost was 17 weeks pregnant when a truck driven by her fiance was hit along the US 60 near Queen Creek. Good evening and thanks for joining us for 12 News at 6. I'm Mark Curtis.
I'm Troy Hayden. 12 News journalist Sean Rice here to explain the sentence and the man behind the wheel, what he could face, Sean.
Yeah, Mark and Troy, good evening to you both. Christy Frost says she remembers December 23rd of last year like it was yesterday. Her daughter, her fiance, and her unborn child collided with a drunk driver along Highway 60 near Queen Valley. That's about an hour east of right here in the valley. Even after pleading guilty to murder, her daughter's killer could spend as little as a decade in prison, a fact that keeps her up at night. Let's take you back to December 23rd of last year. The couple were traveling eastbound on the US 60, as I mentioned, right near the town of Queen Valley, right at milepost 215. That's where Arizona DPS says this man, 64-year-old Ronald Howard, was pulled off on the side of that highway while he was under the influence of alcohol. They say he swerved into the highway and struck the couple's white pickup truck. That collision sent them flying into a wash off the highway, striking this cinder block wall. It killed Talora and her unborn child there on scene, and a memorial now sits at that crash site as her family continues to mourn the loss. Howard has pleaded guilty to murdering the mother and child. He's set to be sentenced next month by a Pinal County judge. He could get anywhere from 10 to 65 years in prison. Pinal County Attorney Brad Miller tells me he and his prosecutors will ask for the maximum sentence, calling this act of driving under the influence, quote, completely preventable, because this was not Howard's first or even second DUI arrest. It was actually his third. That's a fact that Frost's parents tell me horrifies them.
This is murder. You know, the people that were on the road the first two times were really blessed that they're not in our situation. Our daughter's life was just beginning. She was my best friend. My life's not the same without her.
And on the day of the crash, the county attorney's office tells me Howard's BAC, that's his blood alcohol content level, it was nearly 4 times the legal limit. And County Attorney Miller expressed frustration with Howard's criminal past, as the first 2 DUI cases were not cases his office personally prosecuted. Howard's defense attorney tells me he feels as though his client has accepted responsibility. He tells me he's 64 years old and is in poor health. Because of this, they will ask for the minimum sentence, and he hopes he can be released in as early as 10 years from sentence date. Now, his sentencing is scheduled to happen on July 1st in front of Pinal County Judge Stephen Miller. The Frost family tells me the request for his sentence is the same as the county attorneys, that Ronald Howard will spend the rest of his life in prison. Mark.
Sean, thanks.